Good morning
Hi,
from Mississauga. How are you?
hi, Roman. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you as well.
I'm very curious about this talk and yes, for me, it's a very exciting event to meet you.
I think to me it feels like the closest you'll get to a professional blind date,
Mm,
randomly connected with someone you've never met before and
exactly.
trying to get into the groove of things. So let's see how this one goes, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. This is awesome experience for me. Yeah.
You have to
Uh,
forgive me for the poor lighting. It's early in the morning, just before 8. So I'm
mhm,
starting my day, although I think for you, you're probably
yeah.
looking to round off the day right now.
Yes, exactly. We have just afternoon and 10 to 2 o'clock p.m. I just had my running session at noon at lunch in the lunch break. It's really very beautiful air and beautiful forest nearby in Leverkusen.
Oh,
I enjoy it every time. I have my jogging session twice a week in Leverkusen.
oh, that's
So
amazing. You
yeah.
know, near our office, we don't have a lot of nature pathways, but a lot of bike lanes. So a number of people
Uh,
like to take their road bikes on the road and cycle around for half an hour to an hour. I'm not a biker myself, so I use the gym in the basement when the time calls for it.
ah,
So that's
okay.
nice.
Is this in the gym in the basement in your side
Yeah,
or
we
fantastic.
have. We're very lucky. We have a little gym where people host their own classes. I think one of our QA colleagues likes to bring everyone together to do
Oh,
workout sessions, but it's very
awesome.
prestigious. We can't. There's a waiting list to get into that one,
Oh, really?
which I'm not on.
Yeah. It's very popular. So we
It
have
is.
also our gym room in our office building, K56 in Leverkusen. I'm from Bayer Vital. It is a sales organization.
Mhm.
It's really very new office building, and we have this huge gym room. And since Corona pandemic lockdown, we haven't activated this room yet.
Uh,
So it's just a shame. Nevertheless, I hope that we will start our course, our fitness course and yoga course very soon. Yeah,
that's awesome.
looking forward. Yeah.
Oh, it's always nice to do something with your teammates for a little bit and then get back to your desk and carry on with your day. But Fang, why don't you tell me a bit more about yourself? I'd
Yeah.
really love to get to know you, and then I'll let you know a bit about myself as well after.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I am Chinese, born in Beijing and grew up in Beijing. After my study in Beijing, this is German literature. I went to Germany to study business management
Okay.
in Cologne. University is really beautiful city. I love Cologne. I love Germany, and I found my love in in Germany. So I have a little family with 2 kids.
Oh,
Uh,
that's amazing.
yeah, I've been at Bayer since 2004. After my graduation from Cologne University, has my uh, Caesar's work in as biomaterial science is the former Covestro
Hmm.
company. Then I joined Bayer. Right after my graduation, I was really lucky, and I was really happy that I have that job. And since then, I have gone through several stations of my career at Bayer. Um, it's really privilege for me to experience different roles, different teams, and different leadership types. I have different bosses of different characters. Yeah, this is for me is an richness of my life, and not only for my career, but for my personal growth.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
really
And I'm going to remember that one. I'm going to ask you a hard question later, but let's take it for a second, okay? So why don't I jump into myself for a second here? So I don't have as much of a history with Bear, but I feel like it definitely has had as big of an impact as 10, 15 years, even though I've been here for about 4. So I am I was raised in New Zealand and spent about half my life there.
Wow.
About the same thing that you experienced. Decided I wanted to go to university, so I went to the University of Toronto. Fantastic place to study, a great city, nice people. And then, even though it was meant to be a 4-year stint, next thing you know, I've spent the other half of my life in Canada. I'm a licensed pharmacist. I worked in the community for a while. I loved it. I loved my patients, I think, because they said it, so I'm not putting words in their mouth, but my patients loved me as well. But I decided to go back to university for a master's in innovation to look at commercializing new innovative technologies. And from there, I worked in market access with Janssen and then started my career at Bayer. So worked in trade relations, marketing, and now in risk and disclosure, just to get that breadth, that feeling of what makes Bayer, what makes it tick. So Fang, can I ask, are you a people leader now? Do you have people under you that report into you?
I have 7 people I'm taking care of.
That's amazing. And how do you say you've used that to them? So now the script has flipped, right? Now you are the person that people answer to. Do you see anyone stumbling around with tinnitus in their ears and concern when they look at you, or do you find that you've done things differently?
Yeah,
that
definitely.
have led you here?
Exactly. A very great question. I love my team, and my team love me. We are one. We are one entity. We are united. We are connected with each other as people. We are on the same level as people. And we have a team sport once a week. Half an hour. We exercise Qi Gong together.
Oh, awesome. Early morning or afternoon?
Every Monday morning, 8:30, and we start our Qi Gong exercises, 2 pieces, and that with that energizing moment, and you will have a positive start for the whole week. Start together with the team and also together with the team lead. So we are together, connected, and we strengthen ourselves. We are strong together as one team. And that is our team ritual.
Oh, that's really cool. I love rituals. I mean, I think they're the things that you can look forward to. You know that something nice is going to happen, and it sounds like a great way to start the week. I mean, I'm not people leader, although I lead people within the organization on a voluntary basis, let's say, with some of the voluntary groups that we have. Right. But there's definitely, I guess I've been lucky. There have been a number of people leaders I've been under, and they have not made me feel tired. They've made me feel full of energy and purpose and know exactly what I need to achieve to get things done. There's nothing more disheartening, let's say, even if you're succeeding, to not feel like you have successes. If you flip it around, where even on the days where you're just getting your regular work done, you feel like you've made a big success, that, goes a long way to making you feel like your work matters. And we know our work matters, but when you get disconnected from it and you feel like it doesn't matter, that's a terrible place to be, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think, what have they done that's really, really good? I've had, and it's funny, we're going through the new ways of working transformation right now. And I realized and that's something that I'm having to learn in depth to kind of train people locally with my division. So when I'm reading through this stuff, I realize that the leaders that really made a huge impact on me followed these things intuitively without having to have it written down as a best practice. It was their practice that empowered their teams. So I know it's funny, the person who hired me into the company was the VP of specialty medicine. And so I was quite a bit junior, and just by chance, the way that things were organized, the things set up, and the work that they wanted me to do, I was reporting into someone who's extremely senior. But I never felt excluded or underqualified, or I shouldn't be part of the conversation. So just naturally, as a natural leader, people gravitated around them and knew that, you know, from the most junior to the most senior person in the group, everyone's opinion needed to be heard because there is value. It doesn't mean heard because of it's of equal quality, but heard because it's of equal quality based on the diversity of thought that it brings to the table. And I thought that was amazing. I mean, I didn't recognize it at the time why I felt so comfortable, but just feeling like what I had to say meant something made it mean something quite significant to me. And the second thing that was amazing, and you know, that prevents you from being sapped, as you put it, being drained or feeling exhausted, is, you know, when you're working with people that give you a sense of purpose by letting you make decisions, right? So one of the new practices that we have is to allow people to make decisions at the lowest possible level. There is no need to always ask for permission if you are the expert at what you're doing. Exactly. And so after a while, I think I had come in from an environment where I was working in a small business and then worked in another large organization. And so I was always in a situation where I felt that someone wanted to take ownership of the work and to really direct everyone to do things exactly their way. So what was really empowering was the fact that I think at a certain point I had a check-in with them, and he said, listen, I trust you. You don't need to ask for permission every time. You've been doing things really, really well, and you've been making the right decisions. Unless you're unsure, you don't need to ask me to go ahead. You can go for it. And I don't know, that blew me away. And that just made things so much easier. It just makes it so that you can focus on the work, and you don't need to second guess yourself. You're actually doing the things that you're passionate about, and you own them. You're doing it yourself. So anyway, I think that worked really well, and that's one thing that I'm always keeping in mind. So for example, with the group that I'm co-leading here locally, Enable for people with disability, I have to give a shameless plug. Please spread the word. It's a global business resource group that is supporting people that face disabilities, their caregivers, people who are allies, who may have family and friends with disability. We're just trying to make sure that there's enough support within the organization and the way that we do our business outside, so that there's really a positive influence on our communities.
This is really great. What you have said is really fantastic and the ideal working environment, a new way of working. This is our future, and need to be so everywhere at Bayer, in all locations at Bayer. Yeah, that's
so. How have you liked the new way of working rollout? Fang, have you had the new way of working rollout in your organization formally?
We are in the middle of a transition. True North now. This is the project, the whole program, and our company has two divisions. One is pharmaceutical, and the other one is consumer health. So the majority of our organization is from pharmaceutical part. So we need to support these transition activities. So one of the activities is new way of working. and empowerment and trust building, and growth mindset, develop personal development. That is the focus areas we are working on. So now we have built up a small change management team for the whole company, cross-divisional and cross-company, and we want to support our leadership on one side and our employee to go on this journey together. So the biggest challenge for us right now to have a clear vision of our transition. That is very hard piece we need to tackle. In 1 month's time, we will expect the concrete new vision for this transition, and then we can work out the measures. So this is not the really privilege for me to grow in this process, because we need to exercise for ourselves, transform ourselves first, and then we can give our personal experience, our input into the organization, and share our experience, share the good practice, best practice to the employees with trust. That is the biggest building block. First, building the trust in the transition time.
So Fang, you're in a sales organization right now, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, one of the disheartening things about working in a pharmaceutical company that is an innovative pharmaceutical company is things go in cycles. It's not always predictable business. The business grows and the business gets smaller, and change is scary, right? So I guess my question to you is, where have you seen some really positive transitions, and where have you seen things done a bit less well? Obviously, I have an opinion to share, but I'd really like to learn from you first with your experience, and then you can challenge me as to my assumptions and my opinions after. I'm very happy to be challenged.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, this is really a very good question. As we have just started, the good, the positive part I want to share is the honesty. With our managing director, he's quite new since this April. We have seen the change of the leader. The leader have the very positive cognition level, that he understands people or employee as a whole dimension, whole person. So person as employee, we have intelligence, we have understanding apparatus, and we have heart for our emotion. And we have our physical body, our healthy body, and energy, put energy into the work, into our job. And we have also our consciousness. That's a spiritual level. So our new leader is really very smart. He understands people in these 4 dimensions. That is for us really very positive. And we take this as big chance for us
Mm-hmm.
to tackle this transition in a very honest manner.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Okay.
Yeah. Transition is not a new word for
Mm-hmm.
buyer and also for all the big organizations.
Yeah.
So if you truly want to transform your company, your organization into a better form,
Mm-hmm.
stronger form, yeah, you need to be honest with yourself in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the big challenge. So we are still working on it. And now I sense the freedom
Mm-hmm.
and the power that we can do it in this manner now.
Yeah. You know what I liked to hear from you and what you said about this leader is the fact that they recognize that people are multidimensional. It's not just the work, it's not just their intellect, it's also some of the emotion that goes behind it and the things that drive them, right? So, you know, I think all great leaders that I've met have understood that it's very important to really recognize what motivates people, what drives them on a fundamental level, right? Beyond just the work. And not just to try to get them to do their work better, but if you can, like you said, keep someone healthy on all four dimensions by recognizing their needs on all four dimensions, it goes a long way to having people that are, you know, feel that they are filled with a sense of purpose in and outside of the work that they do, and that the work that they do can go towards, you know, some of the good things that we want in our societies. I've been thinking about this for a long time, right? When I speak to colleagues, especially with sometimes things being challenging in terms of perception outside the organization, right? Our organization, like many large organizations, we're like a nexus. It's an area where people kind of gravitate towards, right? Like the bear of today is not the same as the bear of 100 years ago, and is definitely not going to be the same bear 100 years from now.
Yeah.
Everybody will be changed, the business will be different, but if we can make sure that the spirit of the organization remains, and the spirit is focused on the people first, inside and outside of the business, we'll always succeed. Because that means even in those periods of transition, and I think I really like this. This came up in the town hall during the pharma transition that occurred locally. Leadership had said that they want people who inevitably will leave the organization because it's the nature of the business to have left the organization stronger and better than they ever were, with fondness and a focus on being part of the organization again. And that's when you know that you've won, because we know these things are going to happen and people will inevitably have to leave for various reasons. Sometimes because the business changes, and sometimes people are people. They're going to make career decisions. As much as they love an organization, we know that the time and the place really define the opportunities in front of you, and everyone's writing their own life story, right? So with kindness, I've seen so many people, for example, go for better opportunities outside of our organization because it was the right time and place, only to come back as soon as the chance came up again. Because they know that they're working with really great people that have their interest at heart to begin with. The people make the organization, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just love I just love your speech. It was fantastic.
Well, it's good that it's recorded, so you can look at it later as much as you like.
I want to listen again.
No, that's awesome.
That's amazing. I would just, I want to listen more.
You're so kind.
Hear more from you.
Well, we can chat. We can keep on chatting. How about that?
It's really amazing what you have said. It's confirmed also my feeling and my thoughts right now. in a couple of minutes, we'll have a discussion in the change management team, talking about new way of working and how we enable our organization, our people to go on this journey with passion, with trust, and also confidence. Yeah, so that is the right way we are going, and it's safe to have a try, to give us a chance to have a try, and it's not, yeah, it's not, yeah, it's a learning process if you make mistakes. It's not a disaster if you have make mistakes and failures. That's just a learning process. That is the message we need to convince people that they understand and also go with us on this journey.
Absolutely.
On the train. Yeah, so that is the really powerful speech from you just now. Yeah, I've just written down some points. It's really nourishing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Why don't we switch this up? I'm curious. I'm going to keep asking hard questions, and then you can keep asking me the same as well. So this is a hard question because you mentioned failing and failing early, which I actually really, really believe in, right? I'm an innovation coach within the organization as well, right? And by the way, that was one of the reasons why I applied for a job at Bayer. During my master's in innovation, a number of innovation coaches came by and spoke about the innovation infrastructure and crowdsourcing innovation within Bayer overall, right? We have fantastic platforms. We innovate to help people find solutions to business problems from all over the world, right? So part of innovation is being able to take chances, right? And calculated risks and actually getting it wrong from time to time so that you can test what works and what doesn't work. And I think people do that in all different parts of the business. It's not only the commercial arm, it's also, in the voluntary groups, try. Is this way of organizing ourselves, is it working? No, let's try again. Is this working? Nope, let's try again. Is this working? Yes, let's, double down and go twice as hard this way and see where it takes us, right? Yeah. So can you think of some small failures in your team or yourself or anything, the organization, where, we took a chance, whether it was small or big, and maybe it didn't pay off, but it's good to take chances and try again.
Yeah, it's happened almost every day. we practice in daily basis, because I give my team the space and freedom to try to speak up and put their ideas freely onto the table, and then have a look at it. And I have also my personal idea. I always say this is Fang's idea, not the team lead idea. It's the idea just from one head. Yeah. So have 8 people here, and then let's put our 8 perspectives together on the table. So, and then my team, one of my team members say, Fang, it doesn't make any sense what you have said. Okay, I'm out. So let's discuss the other ideas get together. So that is, I try to put my ideas from my perspective, and it's very limited. So that is kind of not a mistake, but it's not very limited aspect. It does make sense, and then it's okay. This is the also contribution to find a final solution. Yeah. So if this alternative, if this option is not okay, that let's take the other option. There's the better alternatives, and so on. So we're practicing this almost every day. Yeah.
Okay.
And
That
my
makes sense.
team also say, okay, Fang's idea makes sense, or someone else's idea doesn't make sense. So yeah, we
Challenge each other every day
yeah, exactly.
with honesty.
Yeah, honestly, that because we have trust base. The basic idea of this safe to try is this triangle.
Yeah.
I am okay. We as team are all okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this or it, that's the topic we are talking about.
Yeah.
And then we are talking about is just the object, because we are okay, so we
Mm-hmm.
are fully focused on the object. Team sport helps us a lot. We are sweating together, and that is the moment that we are just people together on the same level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I try to make myself vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
I admit that I cannot do something. I admit where my limit. I admit that I need support, need help.
Mm-hmm.
I admit that in some area I'm not very familiar, and I need professional expertise.
Yeah.
So I give my team room to support me, to support the subject, the object, the subject. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the very powerful approach of myself. That give my team the sense that they can grow, they have more space. Oh, our team need my support.
Mm-hmm.
There's more room for me to take step into the room and then my contribution into it.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, I want to disappear. I want to disappear as team lead. So if the team functions perfectly, I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
There's no instruction. That's an ideal point I want to reach. I'm not there, but I'm approaching that point.
Mm-hmm.
Continuity.
And that's the thing about a powerful leader, right? A powerful leader doesn't have to lead by being at the front of everything. Hey, look at me and look at what we're accomplishing.
Yeah,
And I think that's one of the hardest things that people face in transitioning from being a contributor in a team to being a people leader. The focus shifts, right? And the focus shifts from one person trying to be at 100% to one person trying to make sure that a number of other people are always at 100%. Exactly. And again, I really loved your whole multiple dimensions for people, right? So a good people leader will recognize that, hey, someone needs support from this dimension that's unrelated to the work, so that they can do the work and so that they can also be a healthy human being, right?
Exactly. So they can grow. It's just, yeah. If I'm big, I'm strong.
Yes.
There's no space for them in the team.
Mm-hmm.
They just listen, and just one brain is working.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to have 7 brains or eight brains.
I was going to say 8, please.
7,
like, don't forget yourself.
7 brains are working together. Yeah. If I'm too big, too strong, at present leader, and then there's just one brain is working. It's waste of time. It's waste of energy, waste of intelligence.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to shift gears, and I feel like I'm interviewing you. I'm hoping that you don't feel the same. I want to shift gears because I'm passionate about things outside of just the work itself, right? Sorry. I'm passionate about things beyond just the work. So I'm passionate about things that we do at Bayer, for example, that are following what people really care about in addition to the work that they do, right?
Yeah.
So let me preface this by saying something, right? So I think people pick organizations where they feel like they can contribute, not just to the work. Let's get real. People don't want to do work for the sake of work. They want to do work for the sake of a purpose, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the purpose, for example, with Bayer, like I love some of the things that we stand for, like health for all, hunger for none. I don't think anyone would say that's a bad thing to try to achieve, right?
Exactly.
Everyone can kind of rally behind something like that and try to make it happen. So some of the things that I've noticed picking up pace internally within the organization being a place where many different people with many different passions have come together for a purpose. One of the things that I've seen picking up is sustainability, and sustainability across many different levels of the organization. So my great hope and a great dream of mine is that continues to pick up pace. So one of the things that someone had mentioned, I think, in supply chain leadership, they were talking about looking at things from a sustainability perspective and wanting to push the bounds by not just having the business case focus on how much money is being saved or can we break even. That they're putting a societal component as well, where even if the organization loses money by doing something, as long as the benefit to society is greater than the loss, so we're using our resources efficiently for that purpose, they're going to go ahead, right? Exactly. And I love that kind of thinking, right? So anyway, so that was just a preface. It's not necessarily sustainability. Do you know what your team is passionate about beyond the work that you do? Like, are they part of any teams or initiatives? And it doesn't even have to be your team. Tell me a bit more about Leverkusen. What are some of the resource groups or extracurricular things that people are doing that they're kind of rallying behind? I know what we're doing at the Canadian level. I'm curious to hear what you're doing on your end.
What I've heard of it is so charitable activities help people who lost their homes in nature catastrophic events last year in near Cologne area in the Rhine. In the Rhine area, we had heavy flood.
Yeah.
And also there's some initiatives to help people, children in a poor poverty situation. So we have a lot of charitable initiatives in Leverkusen on a volunteer basis. Yeah, this is really a very heartwarming. One function of my team is taking care of donations.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have donations for the NGO organizations. We have also donations for people like children and the weak focus group in the society. Yeah, so that is also for us to live the vision, health for all, hunger for none. Yeah, health for all is done not only by pharmaceutical products, but also directly from our employees. We donate also from employee wallet.
And time and energy.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I love that our HR team has empowered people to do, we have volunteer days where you can actually take time off specifically to volunteer, which I think is amazing. And I think the other thing that's super amazing is like this many opportunities to get donation matching.
Yeah.
where there's a good cause, and any dollar you put, the company will put another dollar so that your dollar speaks twice, if that makes sense, right?
Exactly. So that is really very heartwarming, and also give us confidence and trust that our vision is really honest mind. Yeah, honest health for all, as for also health for our employee as
Yes.
well. So
Yeah.
we're organizing Healthy Day for our organization in the middle of September, and we are organizing some topics like mindfulness, and we will exercise Qigong together.
Which, by the way, speaking of mindfulness, is a great way to be mindful, because like you said, you're literally just focusing on the moment and on your body rather than anything else that you have to do.
Yeah, so we will have a big topic for mindfulness. In 2 weeks' time, we have also our event. It is a virtually event that is in German, from mir zu dir, from me to you. This is on the employee level who have the expertise from the private point of view to share for the whole community. So I will share my Qigong experience.
So let me ask you, I haven't asked. Can you teach the Canadian colleagues, if some are interested, remotely? Set up a camera and run a Qigong session with one of our boardrooms?
Definitely.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I will share the two basic Qigong exercises. It's really easy for everybody. For everybody. Okay. Yeah, without any basic sport need to big or tall and small and weak and strong. It's very inclusive. Everybody can do it. It's easy and really, really effective.
Okay, well, I'm not joking, right? So after this, I'm going to email you. I'm being serious. I'm going to email you and we're going to set something up. We're going to have a Canada-Germany Qigong session, okay?
Yeah, I can share Qigong with your guys. It's really, for me, happiest moment to spread my best practice. That is this is my personal vision to to support, to contribute what I have. I will share everybody.
That's awesome. So just so you know, that's why I love as well. Different people, different backgrounds. This is the nice thing about a multinational global organization.
Yeah. Exactly.
You randomly meet someone in the Germany organization that's going to teach Canadians Qigong in the middle of the afternoon.
That's
I love it. So at our organization, I have to kind of highlight some of the great work other people are doing, right? In terms of voluntary stuff, fun stuff. Obviously, I mentioned we have a mighty quality assurance person who leads gym sessions with a bunch of people that have to sign up. I think that's fun. But in terms of actual formal groups, we have a bunch of business resource groups right now that are tackling a number of different, social issues in our communities, trying to support people directly through representation and indirectly through allyship and support. So our resource groups currently at the Canadian level are all social in nature. And by social, I mean they're focusing on social issues and societal issues. So I mentioned, shameless plug again, Enable, which is a global business resource group supporting people with disabilities, visible, non-visible, including emotional, mental, and so on, right? From the perspective of trying to make sure that there are no barriers with the people we are doing business with how we find people to join our teams, with how people find opportunities within the organization to grow, recognizing different people are going to be different. Some people are going to be very assertive, as you mentioned, right? And they may be more vocal and more visible. And then some people are going to be less so, but equally valuable. And how do we make sure different personalities thrive and all find places to grow, right? But what I really like is some of what the other groups are doing. So we have an organization called Build, which supports people of color. And it really came about the unfortunate circumstances in North America and some of the social news that we see from time to time, and finding a place for people to be honest with each other and vulnerable, and finding support and strength in getting that support. We have Grow, which is a global business resource group as well for women in the organization. And I love that Grow is supporting women, but is filled with both genders, both as allies and for direct representation. And they do great work, by the way. So they're like really 5 steps ahead of some of the other resource groups. They find interesting sessions, lead mentorship programs, development opportunities, so ways to upskill yourself in soft skills and specific job related skills. I take advantage of it all the time and I learn something new. We have River, which is a group to help raise the voices for Indigenous peoples within our country, and making sure that we are aware and understand both history as well as current decisions that are being made that affect our communities. And I am probably missing a bunch. We have Blend for people in the LGBTQ plus community. And that's a multinational global resource group. But they really paved the way for the other resource groups because they've been around the longest and we've learned a lot from them. They really made it easy to have these conversations, which actually I think speaks to something that's super important, right? When you have people willing to have tough conversations, you make the tough conversations easier. And when you make the tough conversations easier, it gives other people a chance to speak about something that's important to them. So that's why I'm always grateful, and why I have to shamelessly plug these resource groups, why I'm always grateful for the great work that people do, because it actually gives opportunities to people that never may have thought they would benefit from the discussions that are had, right?
Awesome.
So I wanted to share because I'm very passionate about this stuff.
Yeah, let's exchange offline.
Absolutely.
Definitely, I want to hear more from you, from your experience and from your communities and from all the activities resource groups are doing. Is really very encouraging for us in Germany. And I have the feeling right now we are not alone with our initiatives, with our thoughts, and with our feeling about the current situation in the transition. And I feel connected with Canadian colleagues because we are in the same boat, and we are equal and also the same as people, whereby logically and emotionally from heart we are the same. So that is my feeling right now. Yeah, it's really very good said. I have already noticed that. That is really for me very insightful tips from you. I can use it right away.
I'm so glad. And I learned a lot as well from you, especially talking about your career. That really kind of made things a lot clearer on my end that, hey, the good things that work isn't just because it's been lucky. It's really things that empower people to be their best self. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for your ideas, for your input, for your inspiration.
Anytime. And we're going to take this offline, yeah? We're going to talk again. Qi Gong at the very least.
Okay. Let's do
Thanks so much.
Thank you. All the best. See you.
All right. Bye, Ben.